I wish I could end this marriage, Daniel, she said quietly, her fingers tightening around the edge of her coffee mug. Sometimes I think marrying you was a mistake. The words didn't echo, they detonated. For a second I thought I hadn't heard her right. The sound of the clock ticking above the refrigerator seemed louder, sharper. I just stared at her, unable to form a response. My wife, Emily, the woman I'd built my life around for 8 years, sat across from me at our breakfast table, her eyes calm but cold. A mistake. She didn't even look angry. That hurt more than if she'd screamed. Emily. I finally managed my throat dry. What are you saying? She exhaled slowly, her gaze fixed somewhere past me. I just don't feel it anymore. The connection. The love. I've been pretending for a while, and I can't keep doing it. Her voice trembled slightly on that last part. But the words, they were steady, deliberate. Pretending. I repeated, stunned. She nodded. You're a good man, Daniel. You've always been. But somewhere along the way I started feeling trapped. Like I'm living someone else's life. Like we're holding on because we're supposed to, not because we want to. There was a long, suffocating silence. I could feel my pulse in my ears, the air thick between us. I wanted to argue, to beg her to take it back, but a part of me deep down knew something had been off for months. The late nights. The sudden work trips. The way she'd pull her phone close when it buzzed. I'd noticed all of it. I just refused to believe it meant anything. Is there someone else? I asked quietly. Her reaction told me everything before her words did. Her pupils widened, her lips parted, but no sound came out. She looked down. It's not what you think. That's what people always say when it's exactly what I think. Tears filled her eyes then. She shook her head, pressing her palms to her temples. I didn't mean for it to happen, Daniel. I swear I didn't. I was lonely. We were distant. And he listened. The world fell apart piece by piece in that moment. She had just admitted it. There was someone else. I stood up slowly, gripping the edge of the table to steady myself. My voice was shaking, but I tried to keep it calm. Who is he? She flinched. Does it matter? It matters to me. Her shoulders collapsed inward. His name's Ryan. From work. It started after that project trip to Boston a few months ago. I thought it was just harmless flirting, but it wasn't. She nodded, wiping her eyes. It wasn't. That day felt endless. I went for a long drive just to breathe, but every turn of the wheel felt heavier than the last. The city outside the window blurred, buildings, people, lights, all meaningless. We'd built a life together. Shared dreams. Late-night laughter. Inside jokes that made no sense to anyone else. And now all of it felt like a script she'd stopped believing in long ago. When I came back home, her suitcase was half-packed on the bed. She didn't even look at me when I walked in. I'll stay with my sister for a while, she said softly. We both need space. I stood in the doorway, my arms crossed tightly, not to look angry but to hold myself together. Space isn't going to fix this, Emily. She looked up at me then, eyes red. I don't know what else to do. You could try fighting for us. Her lips trembled. I've been fighting, Daniel. For a long time. You just didn't see it. That hit like a knife. Because maybe in a twisted way she wasn't entirely wrong. After her miscarriage 2 years ago, something in her changed. We both changed. She withdrew into herself, and I, thinking I was giving her space, stopped trying to reach her. We became polite roommates instead of lovers. Still cheating? That wasn't a mistake you stumbled into. It was a choice. I swallowed hard. If this marriage is really a mistake to you, then I won't stop you from ending it. She froze, the color draining from her face. What? I'm done begging someone to love me. Her lips parted, but no sound came. For a long time she just stood there, trembling. Then she whispered, You don't mean that. I do. The next morning I went to see a lawyer. It was mechanical, detached, like watching someone else live my life. The man across the desk talked about timelines, signatures, and property division. I barely heard a word. When I got home that evening, her suitcase was gone. For the first time in 8 years, our house felt like an echo chamber. Every sound seemed louder, my footsteps, the hum of the fridge, the creak of the wooden floor. Her scent still lingered on the pillow, cruelly alive, like she might walk back in any minute. But she didn't. Days turned into weeks. Friends called. I ignored most of them. My mother visited once, bringing lasagna and quiet sympathy. "These things happen, honey," she'd said softly. "Sometimes people lose their way." I nodded, but inside I was rotting. Every night I replayed our conversations, looking for the moment she started slipping away. Was it the night she stayed late at work? The morning she stopped kissing me goodbye? Or had I simply refused to see it because loving her meant lying to myself? 2 months later she called. Her voice was small, uncertain. "Can we talk?" I should have said no. I should have hung up. But old habits die hard, and I still wanted to understand why. We met at a small cafe downtown, the same one where we'd had our first date. She looked thinner, paler. The ring on her finger was gone. "Thanks for coming," she said, staring into her cup. I nodded but said nothing. "I wanted to apologize," she began. "For everything. For how I handled it. For hurting you. Is he still in the picture?" She hesitated. "No." It ended. I raised an eyebrow. "You mean he left you?" Her eyes glistened. "He did. But that's not why I'm here." "Then why are you here, Emily?" She took a deep breath. "Because I made a terrible mistake. You were right, I should have fought for us. I thought leaving would make me feel free, but all it did was show me what I threw away." I leaned back, studying her. Part of me wanted to believe her, to reach across the table and say we could fix it. But another part, the part that still remembered that morning in the kitchen, knew better. "You said this marriage was a mistake," I said quietly. "Remember?" Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I didn't mean it. I was angry, confused, broken. You didn't deserve that." "Then why did you say it?" She looked at me helplessly. "Because I wanted you to stop loving me before I destroyed you completely." The words hung between us, raw and trembling. I didn't reply. I couldn't. She reached across the table, her hand trembling. "Daniel, I still love you. I know you have no reason to believe that, but I do. And if you could ever forgive me." I stared at her hand for a long time before answering. "Forgiveness doesn't mean things go back to the way they were." "I know. I'm not sure I can trust you again." Her lip quivered. "I'd spend the rest of my life trying to earn it." The honesty in her voice broke something in me. Not anger, but sorrow. That night I couldn't sleep. I walked through our old house, touching the walls, the furniture, the memories. Everywhere I looked I saw her. Laughing on the couch, humming in the kitchen, curled up beside me on stormy nights. I still loved her. That was the cruelest part of all. But love wasn't enough anymore. She'd chosen someone else, chosen to burn everything we'd built. And only when the ashes cooled did she realize what she'd lost. At sunrise I sent her a message. "You're right about one thing, people make mistakes. But sometimes the kindest thing we can do is not try to rebuild what we already burned." She didn't reply immediately. Hours later there was a knock on my door. It was her. Eyes swollen, hair unkempt, holding the wedding album in her arms. "Please," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Don't shut me out like this. I can't lose you." I took the album from her, flipping it open. There we were, laughing, dancing, promising forever. The people in those pictures didn't exist anymore. "You already did," I said softly. She broke down, her sobs echoing through the empty house. For the first time I didn't reach out to comfort her. I just stood there, feeling the final thread of us unravel. It's been a year since that day. I still think about her sometimes, on quiet mornings when the sunlight hits the kitchen table just right, or when I hear a song she used to hum. The pain's dulled, but it never disappears entirely. People say time heals. I don't think that's true. Time just teaches you to live with the scars. I heard she moved to another city, started fresh. I hope she finds peace there. As for me, I've learned something simple but brutal. Sometimes letting someone go isn't an act of anger. It's mercy. Because love once betrayed doesn't always die. It just stops being enough. And sometimes the only way to save yourself is to let the person you love most walk away crying.